In 2015, Kody Brown signed adoption papers that changed the Brown family forever. He legally became the father of 3 children who were not biologically his, but to make that possible he first had to divorce the woman who had stood beside him for more than 2 decades. That woman was Meri Brown, his first legal wife and the mother of one of his biological children. For years, viewers had been told that family was the center of everything in the Brown household, that plural marriage created more love, more unity and more support. Yet when the legal decisions were finally made, the structure of that family appeared to move in one clear direction. Kody dissolved a marriage that had lasted since 1990 so he could legally marry Robyn Brown and adopt Robyn's 3 children from a previous relationship. On television, it was presented as a touching sacrifice, a loving gesture and proof that the family was growing stronger. But many viewers saw something far more complicated. By that stage, Kody already had 13 biological children with his other wives. Those children did not need paperwork to prove he was their father, yet many of them were already expressing feelings of distance, neglect, and imbalance. The adoption itself was not the controversy. Adoption can be a deeply loving act when done for the right reasons. What unsettled so many people was the context surrounding it. The legal reshuffle happened at the same time complaints were growing from Meri, Janelle, and Christine that Kody's time, energy and emotional attention were increasingly centered on Robyn's household. The show often softened those tensions with sentimental music and carefully edited scenes, but the cracks were visible. What had once been sold as one united plural family now looked more like several separate families orbiting around one favored home. The adoption became the clearest symbol of that shift. It did not create the hierarchy people believed existed, but it made it impossible to ignore. For many, this was the moment the public image of the Brown family stopped matching the private reality. It was no longer just speculation from fans or awkward moments caught on camera. There was now a paper trail showing where priorities appeared to lie, and it raised uncomfortable questions that would only grow louder in the years that followed. As time passed, those questions became harder to dismiss because the family itself began to unravel in public. Christine Brown eventually left the marriage, Janelle separated from Kody, and Meri later acknowledged that her relationship with him had long ceased to function as a real marriage. After years of promoting plural commitment, Kody was left in what was effectively a monogamous marriage with Robyn, the very wife for whom the legal restructuring had happened. That outcome caused many viewers to revisit the earlier years with a completely different perspective. What once looked like a family trying to make plural marriage work now looked, to some, like a man slowly building a traditional nuclear family within a plural framework. Critics pointed to his increasing presence at Robyn's home, the softer tone he used with her, and the repeated frustrations voiced by the other wives and their children. Several of Kody's biological children later spoke publicly about feeling that he was emotionally absent or far more involved with Robyn's household than with theirs. Gwendolyn Brown in particular was candid about the pain of watching her father be present for others in ways she felt he had not been for her. Those comments carried weight because they came not from outsiders or gossip pages, but from the children who had lived it. The move to Flagstaff only intensified those perceptions. Many of the older children were uprooted from established lives, friendships, and routines, while tensions inside the marriages continued to worsen. Instead of bringing the family together, the relocation seemed to expose just how fractured it had become. In hindsight, the adoption storyline took on an entirely different meaning. It was once framed as an expansion of love, yet many now saw it as part of a long pattern of consolidation around one household. The irony became sharper when Robyn's daughters later expressed uncertainty about plural marriage itself. The very children whose future had seemingly justified so much sacrifice were not eager to continue the lifestyle Kody had defended for years. That made the entire journey feel almost tragic. He had rearranged everything in the name of a principle that even those closest to him did not necessarily want to inherit. Today, the Brown family story looks very different from the version first sold to audiences. The grand vision of 4 wives, 1 husband, and a united spiritual family has collapsed. Christine has moved on and remarried, Janelle has built an independent life, and Meri has closed a chapter many believed ended long before she officially walked away. Kody remains with Robyn, living the conventional married life that once seemed at odds with everything he publicly preached. Meanwhile, many of his biological children have created adult lives that appear increasingly separate from him. Some relationships remain strained, others distant, and the tragic death of Robyn Brown cast a heavy shadow over the entire family narrative. That loss reminded viewers that behind every reality television storyline are real people carrying real pain. Looking back, the adoption was never controversial simply because it happened. Children deserve love, protection, and stability. What made it so powerful was what it seemed to reveal about the family's internal dynamics. It showed that while Kody spoke often about multiplying love, many of those closest to him felt it had instead been divided. It showed that legal decisions can symbolize emotional truths already understood by those living inside a family. And it showed that children notice far more than adults sometimes realize. The Brown children who were there from the beginning did not need legal documents to know where they stood. They watched the choices, the time spent, the energy given, and the homes prioritized. In the end, that may be the real legacy of the Brown family story. As time passed, the questions surrounding that decision became impossible to ignore because the Brown family itself began to unravel in full public view. Christine Brown eventually left the marriage, Janelle separated from Kody, and Meri later admitted that her relationship with him had stopped functioning as a real marriage long before it officially ended. After years of promoting plural commitment, Kody was ultimately left in what appeared to be a monogamous marriage with Robyn, the very wife for whom the legal restructuring had taken place. That outcome caused many viewers to look back at earlier seasons through an entirely different lens. What once seemed like a family trying to make plural marriage work now looked, to many, like a man quietly building a traditional nuclear family within a plural structure. Critics pointed to his growing presence at Robyn's home, the softer tone he often used with her, and the repeated frustrations voiced by the other wives and their children. Several of Kody's biological children later spoke openly about feeling that he was emotionally distant or far more invested in Robyn's household than in theirs. Gwendolyn Brown in particular was candid about how painful it was to watch her father be present for others in ways she felt he had not been for her. Those comments carried weight because they came not from outsiders or gossip pages, but from the children who had lived the reality behind the cameras. The move to Flagstaff only deepened those perceptions, with older children uprooted from established lives while tensions within the marriages continued to grow. Instead of restoring unity, the move seemed to expose just how fractured the family had become. In hindsight, the adoption storyline took on a completely different meaning. It had once been framed as an expansion of love, yet many now saw it as part of a long pattern of consolidation around one household. The irony became even sharper when Robyn's daughters later expressed uncertainty about plural marriage itself. The very children whose future had seemingly justified so much sacrifice were not eager to continue the lifestyle Kody had defended for years. Today, the Brown family story looks nothing like the version first presented to audiences. The vision of 4 wives, 1 husband, and a united spiritual family has collapsed. Christine has moved on and remarried, Janelle has built an independent life, and Meri has finally closed a chapter many believed ended years earlier. Kody remains with Robyn, living the conventional married life that once seemed at odds with everything he publicly preached. Meanwhile, many of his biological children have created adult lives increasingly separate from him. Some relationships remain strained, others distant, and the tragic death of Robyn Brown cast a heavy shadow over the entire family narrative. That loss reminded viewers that behind every reality television storyline are real people carrying genuine pain. Looking back, the adoption was never controversial simply because it happened. Children deserve love, protection, and stability. What made it so significant was what it appeared to reveal about the family's internal dynamics. It suggested that while Kody often spoke about multiplying love,